Hello, history buffs. Welcome to It Really Happened, where history's most bizarre tales come to life. Today, we're time traveling to 1518, to the city of Strasbourg for a story that sounds too strange to be true. Get ready for the tale of the dancing plague, which is unlike any other affliction in recent history. This kind of dancing didn't just tire people out, it had deadly consequences. If you found yourself in a city where everyone around you was dancing for hours on end, you'd think you were in the middle of some huge festival. Now, those same people were dancing uncontrollably, against their will, unable to eat, sleep, or rest. And worse, dancing to the point where they died from sheer exhaustion. It doesn't sound like such a festive dream anymore, does it? But for the residents of Strasbourg in July 1518, this nightmare was all too real. It all began with one woman, Frau Troffea, who stepped outside and started dancing, and couldn't stop for days. At first, only a few curious onlookers joined in, but soon it became something far more alarming. What started out as a seemingly joyous event quickly spiraled out of control. Within days, dozens of men, women, and even children found themselves caught up in the strange frenzy. Their feet moved without rest like puppets on invisible strings. By the end of the week, hundreds of people were dancing in the streets. It wasn't a celebration. There was no joy or laughter. Instead, these dancers looked pained and terrified, as if some unseen force was pulling them into the relentless rhythm. Soon enough, the city descended into chaos, and everyone was gripped with terror. The city's leaders were just as bewildered as the dancers. Was it witchcraft, an illness, or perhaps a divine punishment for sins? No one knew what to make of it. The authorities came up with a plan they thought was brilliant at the time. They believed that if the dancers could exhaust themselves, the spell would be broken. So they hired musicians, set up stages, and invited professional dancers to encourage the afflicted to keep moving. Their hope was that by dancing it out, the strange phenomenon would stop. Little did they know they were only fueling the fire. The city's plan to dance it out took a deadly turn. Instead of slowing down, the dancers pushed their bodies past the breaking point. Many collapsed because their bodies shut down from the inhuman demand of the dancing plague. Some suffered heart attacks or strokes from the strain, unable to keep up with the non-stop movement. The streets of Strasbourg turned grim as more and more dancers fell, some never to rise again. What began as a bizarre spectacle had become a terrifying epidemic, with a growing death toll and no clear solution in sight. Finally, after weeks of non-stop dancing, the city changed tactics. They realized the dancing wasn't going to stop on its own. The remaining dancers, now weak and desperate, were taken to a shrine dedicated to Saint Vitus, a saint believed to protect people from diseases of the mind. There, they prayed for salvation, seeking divine intervention to lift the curse. Slowly, the strange urge to dance subsided. The streets grew quiet again, and the people of Strasbourg were left to wonder what had just happened. Though the dancing had stopped, the mystery was far from solved. The dancing plague of 1518 is still one of the most mysterious events in history. Even today, no one knows exactly what caused it. Some people believe it was mass hysteria, where a large group of people all experienced strange symptoms due to fear or stress. At the time, the people of Strasbourg were going through tough times like famine and disease, which could have made their bodies and minds react in strange ways, leading to the uncontrollable dancing. Another theory is ergot poisoning, which happens when people eat grain infected with a mold called ergot. This mold can cause hallucinations and muscle spasms, making people feel like they're losing control of their bodies. The chemicals in ergot are similar to LSD, a drug that can cause people to see things that aren't there and act strangely, which might explain why so many people were dancing non-stop. Some scientists think the plague could have been caused by a neurological disorder, like epilepsy or chorea, which makes people move in jerky, uncontrolled ways. However, it's unclear why so many people would have been affected at the same time. Another idea is that the event was connected to religious beliefs. Like we mentioned earlier, many people believed in St. Vitus, a saint who was thought to protect people from illnesses that caused strange movements, but could also curse people to dance. Fear of being cursed might have caused panic and spread the dancing behavior. There's also a strange phenomenon in nature that could give us clues. The cordyceps fungus. This fungus infects insects like ants and controls their movements. It takes over their bodies, forcing them to climb to high places where the fungus can spread to other insects. While this fungus doesn't infect humans, it shows that living organisms can sometimes take control of another creature's movements in a very unnatural way. But the dancing plague isn't the only unexplained event from history. More than 230 years earlier, in 1284, another mysterious event took place that may have inspired the famous story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin. According to records, on June 26, 1284, a piper wearing multicolored clothes led 130 children out of the town of Hamelin, and they were never seen again. An inscription on the Pied Piper house in Hamelin, which dates back to 1602, tells this story. AD 1284, on the 26th of June, the day of St. John and St. Paul, 130 children, born in Hamelin, were led out of the town by a piper wearing multicolored clothes. After passing the Calvary near the Koppenberg, they disappeared forever. The town's records from 1384 also mention the mysterious event, stating, "It is 100 years since our children left." There was even a stained glass window in Hamelin's St. Nikolai Church, which showed the Pied Piper leading deathly pale children. While this window was destroyed in the 17th century, earlier descriptions match the strange story. Historians are still trying to figure out what really happened to the children of Hamelin. Was it another case of mass hysteria or something even stranger? This mysterious event, like the dancing plague, remains unsolved, leaving us to wonder what could have caused so many people to disappear or act in such an inexplicable manner. In the end, no one knows for sure what caused the dancing plague or the disappearance of Hamelin's children. Whether it was stress, poisoned food, belief in curses, or something else entirely, these events remind us that there are still mysteries in history that might never be fully explained. But whatever the real reason was, it's a reminder that sometimes there's a thin line between what we understand and what we don't. What do you think caused the dancing plague? Was it medical, spiritual, or something else entirely? Share your theories in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell for more strange stories from the depths of history. Until next time, dance like no one's watching, but not too much.